Today, the owner of Makani Roofing, Mike Carlos, who has over 35 years of experience with a skilled team that specializes in roofing, siding, deck staining, window replacement, and house painting, will be sharing his secrets about the industry that kept him going for so long with such a good reputation. So if you're in Omaha and you want to make sure you get the best service, you know who to call. Sick man. So Mike, how did you get into roofing? How did everything start? Was it passion, family, or an opportunity? What kind of made you start?
Okay, so my first experience with roofing Cayenne was I was going to the local city university here when I got out of high school in 1975. Okay, a long time ago. But I worked for a local company called Exarban Roofing. Man, it was old school. We did a hot tar commercial. We actually roofed the high school I went to, North High School. The year I graduated, they're working, around the school, and I'm like, hey, I need to make some money. And so I did. It was tough, hard, grueling work. Then I did corporate and insurance company stuff, local Blue Cross Blue Shield for a number of years. Got burnt out on that and went back to what I know. A hailstorm came through. Boom. We went to work for a friend of mine, and then eventually just went on my own. So that was, that was a long time ago. I guess 2002 when I got back, started back again. So
Yes, that's a while already. And what are the
yeah,
early days like as starting a roofing company? What are the struggles? What are the feelings you're feeling? When you go back to roofing, you're like, "Phew, I'm gonna go into blue collar, going into
the key thing is you want to know your materials, quality materials that hold up, and most important I think is your installers, training your people so that they do a top quality job,
hmm
and then you don't have problems, you don't have callbacks, you're not chasing unhappy customers, complaints. It makes all the difference doing a quality installation, right? I mean, all the difference in the world.
And what is quality? You've been roofing for 35 plus years. You have a successful company. What is quality for you?
Okay, well, quality is hard work. Hard work means that you have to take off the existing coverings. You got to take the felt off. You have to inspect the decking. If there's any of it rotten, you got to make sure you don't have the kind of guys that are just going to cover it right over and nail, it costs a new shingles is so expensive, man. Nailing those over rotten wood, that just used to piss me off so bad, when they were, half,
It's
a third of
half
what they
assed.
cost
Yeah,
now. But you got to have people that take pride in their work, and you know what? They would all do that. The guys that want to do it for the cheapest price are gone. They're not going to, it's going to cost you more in the long run.
that's the
So
thing.
get good people, pay them well, pay them a fair price. Their time is valuable to me and to any roofing company. Good quality work is valuable, man. So you
Definitely.
got to pay for it.
Definitely. And how do you find a good crew? Because a lot of roofers struggle with having a loyal crew that will actually care about the roof as if it's their own home. How do you find that, and how do you motivate your team and train them to have the same mindset, same vision as you?
Well, the way I do it is I spend time with them. I'm on the roof. Still at my age, I'm up on the roof, when that job's going on. I'm double checking, man. I'm looking at those corners.
Bless.
Excuse me.
Bless.
I'm looking at those corners around the chimney. I'm checking those returns at the end of valleys, where valleys into a wall in a corner that's bad construction to begin with. That's where the leak's going to occur. Just making sure that the flashing's under there. And, you know, that's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
So if you have, I have three daughters. They're not up on roofs. If you have a son that learns from your work ethic, that'll get up there and
Get
check.
on the fucking roof.
I have a couple younger guys that I know I can trust them now. I've shown them over and again, and I can trust them now to go check for me. But everybody knows that it ain't no surprise if old Mike shows up on a job site, because it's going to happen.
It
It's
is.
going to happen.
And do you feel like it's important that the owner of the company still shows up to the day-to-day works, checks in on the team? Because a lot of roofing companies, when they start making millions, they scale to like the $3 million mark, they start to lean back. You know what I mean? Because they have the systems, they have the team, they have the sales reps, they have the crew, everything. But do you still feel like it's important to keep growing for you as the owner to be there in the day-to-day? And if so, why?
Well, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little company, but I make a good living to support my family doing this. And I know some guys that are a lot bigger than me. And you know what? I'm out there working in a job next to them, and there I see it. Oh, there he is. There's Mr. Hot Shot, Big Shot. They know me. I say hi to them, but yeah, they get out there. I mean, it's not maybe not every job, but you never know which one they're going to show up at. And
That's what makes
they're
it
hands on. They're
That's what
hands on.
that's what makes it exciting. Not exciting, but like keeps the work ethic going for the crew. Because if they don't know when the boss is gonna show up, they're gonna be working good all day long. Because if they know you're gonna show up at 2 p.m., before that, they might open a couple beers, they might relax a bit, have some fun. So that's always
A
good.
lot of things can happen, and it just makes you look bad. So good, either the owner or and they'll find good people that they trust. I've had some good guys, really good guys. That I mean, I'm older. I've had guys die on me. I've had guys overdose on me. I've had all kinds of, you know. It's a dangerous business. It's a tough business, and it's a fun business too.
It
But you
is.
got to keep at it. You got to keep at it.
And how does
It's a blessing.
and how does someone continue for 35 years with the excitement that you have of waking up every day? What's like the secret for you, or is it just you just love what you do? It's your passion.
I think for me, it's I love life, man. I wake up, my eyes open up, and I'm like, "Thank you, God. Here we go again. Let's go. Let's enjoy the day." I mean, I'll stop in a garden. I'll stop in a museum. I'll stop if I see some art. I enjoy it. If I see somebody that's got some bonsai plants, I'll stop and look. And if there's one that calls me, I'll get it. So it's just going through the day, loving life, being humble, having some humility, appreciating every step, man, every breath.
Those are
Those old Eastern guys, they got it figured out. There's a monk called Thich Nhat Hanh who started the Plum Village in France. Insightful. He was kicked out of Vietnam during the Vietnam War back in the 60s, and just a brilliant, beautiful man. I get a lot of good, you know,
yeah,
uh,
knowledge.
inspiration about life and not getting tied up in the, you know, minutiae of the political stuff going on and everything. It's. I mean, you can find something to get you down. You can find something to get you up. I'd rather be up.
The glass is half empty, half full. It depends how you look at it. It's your choice. No,
That's right. That's right.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
So it's a great business. There's a lot of changes going on. The weather, I mean, it's crazy. The materials, they're more important than ever, to use good stuff, do a good job. People's whole houses are at risk. It used to be just in Florida, you'd have to worry about that hurricane tearing the house apart. Now it's everywhere. So we got to do a good job for people to provide the public with, the quality their families are counting on. I love that.
So
It's important.
what I think that also makes you special is that you take care of every homeowner and every client that you have as if it's your own roof. I feel like some people that get into the business because it's very profitable. You're making 2 to 3K profit on a decent roof. It's amazing.
Right.
But I feel like if you can take care of every client as if it's your own family member's house, first of all, you enjoy the process. Second of all, you build a connection with the homeowner. And third of all, you enjoy the process. They give you a referral, you get more work, and that's how you keep growing. Do you agree with that?
100%, young man. Exactly right. I mean, it builds on itself, so you guys have really helped me, get a grip on things and get a little boost when I really needed it because it's slow. We haven't had anything going on. And I work by referral normally. I've thrown a lot of cash down the empty hole with this, but you, man, and Ben, you guys are there. You're calling me, showing me what's happened. reminding me who to follow up with if I miss it or something, And so it's just fantastic. I'm so happy with you guys. I can't even believe it. Young guys, but you really had your finger on the pulse of what's going on. Very impressive.
And that gives me goosebumps. It could be the best thing. That's my birthday gift, Christmas gift that you could have given me.
No, I appreciate quality work, man. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. You're an amazing client to have, and then one thing that I have in mind and that I felt from speaking you with the first time is that you said this yourself. You enjoy life. I feel like if you enjoy life as a business owner and don't eat your head over, you grow better, you motivate the team because I feel like homeowners, crews, employees, they all feel energy from the boss. You're the leader. If you have a negative energy, if you have a bad mindset, if you're not happy with yourself, it's going to portray on them. So, what is your advice on kind of keeping that? I know you said the day to day with the bonsai, everything, but for work, what is your tip for roofers that cannot get their crew to get the same vision as them, except spending time and everything, more just on the one on one personal with them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And I think the answer to that is when you get down, and it can happen to anybody. It happens to me sometimes. When you get down, don't you know take some time. Take some time to yourself. Take care of yourself. Whatever it is you like to do. If maybe you need to go fishing that day, maybe you need to go, to the gym and exercise that day. What you need to do to take care of yourself, spend the day with your wife, spend the day, doing something together. Go someplace special that you both love. Take care of yourself, get your rest, and you can't be 100% every day, and unless it's truthful. You can't fake it. So if something's down, you got to take care of it, right?
I
If
like
something's not working, you got to take care of it. Like yesterday, my daughter was sick. I had a bunch of things I wanted to do, but um,
you took
my
care of
wife's out of town. My daughter's sick. What comes first? Family does. It's so. Now I'm going gangbusters, trying to catch up, do what I didn't get done yesterday. You know what? Thank you, God, for the strength to be able to do it. I
definitely.
mean, that's
Amen
the
to that.
key.
Amen to that, brother. Really. And I know, like, because you've got a good energy, you've got a good vibe, you've got a good mindset. But what is a sales advice you would give a young roofer that's starting in the industry? He's got the hunger, he's got the motivation. What is a couple tips you would give your younger self, to put it that way now?
Okay, so that what I would say is um, deliver, man. Deliver to that customer. Deliver. Don't cut any corners, because when you're finished with those first jobs, when you did everything right, you didn't leave any kind of a mess. It's got building a little fear behind you. You did it right. You delivered for that customer. So anytime you see them, you smile and feel good about it. That's the best advice I can give you. You know,
Love
if you got to pay a little extra to buy a little better material than what the customers, signed up for, do it.
do it.
It's worth it. You over delivered. So the best advice is, if you over deliver on your work, you're always going to have pride in what you're doing for your customer, and nobody can take that away from you, because you know it inside. You did the right thing. That's super valuable.
Honestly, no, that is because that's the truth. There's nothing more to it than that's the truth. The truth is, if you deliver well, man, you keep your promises, you keep your word as a business owner, as a man, someone that even in your personal life, you say, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, I do it tomorrow. I'm gonna promise you this material, I'm gonna give you this material, I promise you this price, the price is not gonna go up, and if it does, I'll cover it the first couple times, because that's business. You need to sacrifice. If not, business would be easy and everyone would start their own business. Huh?
There you go. That's right. That's right. So just over deliver. Don't cut any corners. And you said it. Be honest and keep your word. That's it's been true for since the beginning of time. That's how people started trade and trusting each other. They knew who they could trust, who they couldn't trust.
Which is a
So
big one.
that's right.
Which is a big one. Knowing who you cannot trust is probably a huge piece of advice as well. Because people are like, oh no, these are my good friends. These are my good friends. They say keep your enemies closer than your friends. Know who you can
That's
trust
right.
because they can bite you in
They'll,
the back.
they'll show you pretty quick when you can trust them or not. Don't. It takes longer to find out that you can trust them. You're right. You can find out you can't trust them real quick. They'll show their colors. It happens fast.
Definitely. And what is the next steps for someone like you, Mike? Someone that's been doing it for years, has a beautiful family, has God in their life, is happy with themselves. What's the next step for you? What's the next journey?
I will sell. Eventually, and so have your books in order, have everything straight with your customer list, your accounts list, your business expenses, your plan, your profit loss statements, and keep. It took me way too long to do that. I really procrastinated, but now things look great, and everything's verifiable. But it's a service, so most of the value I bring. You know, because if you're growing and that's your target, have good employees that share your business plan, and so my next step is you know revealed to me as it's my business plan is 10 more years, man. So if I stay healthy 10 more years, we're home free.
So what are you going to do? I love it. I love it. And I love that motivation, man. And one last thing before we leave it, man. What do you think of reinvesting into your company, just in general? Because a lot of people get scared when they're starting out. They're like, I got a couple bucks, I could buy this car, I could buy my dream watch, I could buy this, that. What do you think the importance is of reinvesting into your business? And do you feel like that helped you out in your own journey?
It's the only way you can stay viable. It's the only way you can stay viable. You have to find a way to stay viable. And, you know, uh, the days of I'm from back in the Yellow Pages ad days, so, and, people are getting more educated. They're making their own choices. They don't want to answer their phone at all, and they really don't want to answer their door. So you've got to overcome all these barriers to market that way. So you just got to kind of go with the flow of what's working for people. That's what we have to do.
I like
I
that.
mean, the wheel keeps getting refined, just like saw blade keeps getting sharper, man. So
So
um,
you have to keep with the
find some good people like I found you guys. Find some good people that have your own best interests, that are going to shoot straight with you and deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on, and everything's copacetic, right? Everything's good.
brother. Couldn't have been better, man. Fucking love it. Love working with you, man. And me personally, I'm looking forward to doing this as a years on end, man. And hopefully soon, one day, just go out to a bar, have a beer, man, and give me some knowledge, man. Because there's a lot that I can learn from you, Mike. So appreciate your time, man. I know you're a busy guy. So this means the world to me.
Kind of thank you. Yep, I'm glad to do it. Sorry to keep be so hard to nail down on this, but yeah, glad to do it, man.
I love it, man. I
Okay,
do.
keep doing what you're doing, brother. Take
Do you agree with that?
100%, young man. Exactly right. I mean, it builds on itself, so you guys have really helped me, get a grip on things and get a little boost when I really needed it, because it's slow. We haven't had anything going on, and I work by referral normally. I've thrown a lot of cash down the empty hole with this, but you man and Ben, you guys are there. You're calling me, showing me what's happened. reminding me who to follow up with if I miss it or something, And so it's just fantastic. I'm so happy with you guys. I can't even believe it. Young guys, but you really have your finger on the pulse of what's going on. Very impressive.
And that gives me goosebumps. It could be the best thing. That's my birthday gift, Christmas gift that you could have given me.
No, I appreciate quality work, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. They don't want to answer their phone at all, and they really don't want to answer their door, So you've got to overcome all these barriers to market that way. So, you just got to kind of go with the flow of what's working for people. That's what we have to do.
I like
I
that.
mean, the wheel keeps getting refined, just like saw blade keeps getting sharper, man. So
So
um,
you have to keep with
find some good people like I found you guys. Find some good people that have your best interests, that are going to shoot straight with you and deliver on what they say they're going to deliver on, and everything's copacetic, right? Everything's good.
brother. Couldn't have been better, man. Fucking love it. Love working with you, man. And me personally, I'm looking forward to doing this as a years on end, man. And hopefully soon, one day, just go out to a bar, have a beer, man, and give me some knowledge, man, because there's a lot that I can learn from you, Mike. So.